Let's add a custom creative mode tab to Minecraft. 121 Minecraft modding course is available down below, with over 11 hours of content covering everything from the basics all the way to block entities and custom mobs. Alright, we found ourselves back in tutorial once more, and in this tutorial we'll be adding our custom creative mode tab, or also known as an item group, to Minecraft. What you will find is that this is actually more straightforward than you might think, but let's just take a look. I basically always put the custom item groups inside of the item package simply because, well, they are very related to items, right? And I feel like that is the most sensible place to put them. So in the item package, we're going to right click, new Java class, and we'll call this the ModItemGroups. There we go. And the most important thing here at the very beginning is that this one has a public static void register item groups method right here. And that one, once again, is going to have tutorialmod.logger.info and then just registering item groups for tutorialmod.modID. Once again, the contents here are not strictly necessary, but the static method is. And then we want to call this inside of our tutorial mod class over here at the very top for ModItemGroups.register item groups. And with that, we basically have the item groups registered. Now we still need to, well, I mean, properly register them, right? So we have the method called, but how do we register them? Well, you're going to find that it's actually more straightforward than you might think. So let's start with the first item group. We will add two just so that you can see how you can add multiple ones. And this is going to be a public static final. And very importantly, item group, right? It is item group right here, not item groups. It's very important that you choose the correct class over here. So double check that it is the item group you're creating from net Minecraft item. Then hit tab to autocomplete this. And this is going to be the pink_garnet_items. Let's call it the underscore group over here, and then equal to registry. Once again, making sure we choose net Minecraft registry. Very important, not Java RMI. That is a common mistake I see people make. You want to choose the correct registry over here. If you've imported it correctly, simply delete the import and import the correct class. Here we want to call the register method and then pass in registries.item_group. Once again, tab to autocomplete it. And here we pass in an identifier.of. Once again, it suggests this to us. So simply hit tab to autocomplete it. This is going to be the name. The name here is going to be tutorialmod.modID. And then the name is going to be pink_garnet_items. After the first closing parentheses, we then make a fabric item group .builder.build and then end this with a semicolon. Now between the builder over here and the .build, we can add a few more things that are actually quite important. The first one is going to be the icon. You can see we're going to call the icon method and then give it a supplier of a new item stack. So new item stack. And here we pass in modItems.pinkGarnet. This is going to give the item group the pink garnet as its icon. Then we want to call the display name over here. As you can see, this is going to need a text, and we're going to choose text.translatable. Once again, tab to autocomplete this. And here we're going to pass in item group .tutorialmod.pink_garnet_items. This is going to be a translatable key that we basically defined ourselves right here, and that we will be changing in a second in the en_us JSON file. Or not changing, but translating basically. And then we want to call entries right here. As you can see, once again, simply hit tab to autocomplete this. And if you start typing in display context, you can see this lambda right there. We once again simply want to hit the tab key to autocomplete this. It's going to complete the arrow. Then we're going to put in the curly brackets. I'm just going to change the formatting just a little bit. And now inside of those curly brackets, this is where we add things to this particular item group. And it is as easy as saying entries.add modItems.pinkGarnet. And then the same thing goes for entries.add modItems.raw_pink_garnet. And with that, the first one is done. And now one of the questions might be, how can we add a second one? Well, I'm going to do is I'm simply going to select all of this, as you can see, the way that I selected it, and press Ctrl D to duplicate it. And now we're going to make a second one. This is going to be the pink garnet blocks group. And of course, changing this to pink_garnet_blocks, and then changing the name here too. We also want a different icon, we no longer want the pink garnet, but rather mod blocks that pink garnet block. I think that is fair. And the same thing goes for the entries, right? The entries should now be entries.add and then mod blocks dot pink garnet block here as the first one. And then the second entry is going to be mod blocks dot raw pink garnet block. And that is a second one as well. Now, if I recall correctly, in Fabric, the order of the item groups should be in order that they are registered in. Basically, the first one should be the items and then the blocks. Although, do not quote me on this, I am not 100% sure. Right, with this done, we can, for example, copy this one key right here, right? So including the quotation marks, go into our lang folder in the en_us JSON file, and we can paste this in. There's going to be the pink garnet items, and then we can literally just duplicate this line, Control D, and change this to blocks over here, and change this to blocks as well. Now, you might not believe it, but that is actually everything that we need to do for a custom item group. It is really this simple. And of course, if you want to have more, you can simply create another item group, literally exactly like this, simply changing the name, changing the translation, whatever icon you want, and of course, then all of the entries. So with this done, let's jump into the game and see if it worked. Alright, we're back in Minecraft, and you can already see there is a page 2. That is always a good sign, and we can see here are the blocks, here are the items. They are not in order of registration, so I guess that is so much for the order, but there you go. We do have both of the different item groups here, and that is pretty freaking fantastic. So that is custom item groups added to Minecraft. And the code is of course available to you down below, but that's going to be it for this tutorial. Next time in this video, we'll talk about custom recipes and loot tables. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.